Let me start this off. Okay, so we got that off. Hit that like button. Turn up. We got Kenny Kingpin coming. And salute to the room, everybody on Clubhouse, which is why we got. Let me fix this audio before we start this, because I don't know why we getting feedback. Yeah, you with me?
I'm right here, Deuce.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let me fix some of this media stuff. Background music. Add background. Yeah. Hey, what up? Hit that like button. Thumbs up. And on your way in, it's for free. We got Kenny Kingpin in here. Poppa LQ.
We up back, man. Somebody calling, interrupting the feed. I'm here.
I get it. I'm getting this feedback. I don't know why. Let me see what's going on.
What it do, Yali?
Let me close some of this stuff, man, because I don't know why we're getting this feedback before we even start. Because this is going to be a class interview.
Yo, y'all there?
I'm right here, bro. I'm hold on 1 second.
No, do your thing. I was saying that section is ready, bro. We keep telling you that. That section is ready.
Real. We working. We working, man.
I mean, he don't listen in then. You know what I'm saying? That's hard head Yael. Okay, hopefully we ain't getting no more feedback.
Sound clear on this side for sure.
No, it's an echo, bro. Let me go to these settings. That's nasty work, bro. Nah, but I'm looking at the echo. Reduce mic background noise. I did that. Communications, microphone array. And hey, hit that like button. We got a good one for y'all today, man, with Kenny Kingpin. Echo cancellation.
Shout out to the Damu Kiwe family.
We got a good one for y'all today.
Damu Kiwe. Conversations.
Echo cancellation.
Shout out to the Damu. How we sound? We sound good on my end.
All right.
That's YouTube that's doing that. I just went to YouTube. YouTube is the one that's doing that.
I think that it's still a delay, bro. I don't know why YouTube is doing that bullshit, bro. Let me see what real quick. Hey, Yael, you and what's the name stay in. I'm gonna go into StreamYard and go try to shut something down. Hold on.
If not, we can go into the press 5 and do the interview right after. Either way, I'm here.
Yeah, we gonna get right into that. Let me see if I could see what the problem is with this. Boom. Hold up, Jay Jonah. All right. Is y'all good?
You got the graphics. Ooh, Damu and Kiwe active chucks, boy. Y'all can't. Boy, got the pop-up graphics going.
Oh no. We definitely got that, but I'm looking at.
Look at you, okay.
I'm looking at the.
I'm on the other side looking
Yeah,
right
but
now.
it's still giving it. Oh, maybe we got some. You got a phone or something right there, Poppa LQ?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Maybe it's this. Let me mute up. Maybe it was the clubhouse. Yeah, I think. No, that wasn't it.
I don't got nothing. It's just what I'm on. We here.
And that is crazy, bro. It never does this. You know what I'm saying? Media assets. Let me see.
I mean, what do the Damu and Kiwe conversation have any haters? Do we have any haters?
Man, I'm quite sure we got a couple handful. Audio default.
It's technology, though. Say,
Default
long
mic
be
rate.
heard. If they can hear us, we can just get it in and do what we got to do. It's all good while you work on the tech, you know. Crenshaw District in the house, man. Damu and Kiwe conversation. It's a family thing, man. It's a pleasure to be here. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
I never have a delay, period.
Even though I always been here, it's a pleasure to be on the stage tonight. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna share some insight. You know, we got the new show, Press 5. Tonight is the debut of that
Do
show
not
with my
turn
man.
this off unless you have a high quality microphone. But we have echo cancellation on. Reduce mic background noise. Improves audio clarity by minimizing background. This is fucking crazy. This is often used by musicians with stereo audio input mic. Pardon me. Okay, mute, unmute, hotkeys, share screen, camera on off, second camera, video, stream, record. This is really pissed me off. Guests can stream this to their own destination. Guests can see viewers. Okay. The best way to manage guests. Spotlight. Key. Please note, recording settings are disabled while live. Virtual background, audio, communication. Okay, let me see if we can turn this one off. Hello?
Yep. I'm here.
No, that was yeah, that still ain't working. Reduce mic background, automatically adjust the microphone. Let's turn this down, son. Echo cancellation must be off to use stereo. We're not
I'm
using
sore for
stereo.
running the miles. I've been waking up doing these miles in the morning.
Yeah, one thing for sure, especially this interview, we can't do it with no echo like this, bro.
Let's go right into the show, the Press 5 show, while we get our technology up and we can get the content running.
What? Right. Hey, that sound like a plan. I'm on it right now.
Yeah, because I ain't going nowhere. I'm down doing Kiwe conversation. So let's run the show while we get the technology going. And shit, let's do it. The show goes on.
Hey, tell me how it sound on YouTube. God, we finna start it right now. Let's go. Shout out my boy Scanless, Los Angeles.
Biggie was out here on the West Coast. He was in the studio with me and we homeboys, and he got shot. No, I wouldn't tell him who did it, but I wouldn't go ride on niggas who did it, but he wanted to know who did it. Then I'll be like, look, man, these niggas from Watts did it. This is why they want to talk to you. When. That's how I do it. Just like when the niggas from the 60s wanted to get a track. Just like when the niggas from the 60s wanted to get a track. Just like when the niggas from the 60s wanted to get a track. I went to them personally and talked to them. I do it by the rules of etiquette.
You know anything about that fight that Tupac and Treach had with the Rollin 60s? You know anything about that?
I heard about it. You know what I mean? And shout out to my man. What's my man name? Poppa LQ. You know what I mean? I forget what's his Instagram page. Muslim brother, Poppa LQ. He's from Rollin 60 Crips. He actually had something to do with that, to be able to mediate between Pac and
I'm muted up. No, they said Poppa LQ ain't on. Poppa LQ said he don't have no other phone over there that's on. So that's not his, that's not feedback from him. I'm thinking it might be IG. I might have to end my live on IG. Let me try that.
Yeah, because I'm not even around another phone or anything like that.
Right. Okay, so we discharge that one. Boom. Now let's see if we could get this without an echo. Because that might have been it. Hey, we got a special guest, one of my close friends, Poppa LQ. Hit that like button. We got the content. Let's go.
Give me my proper etiquette. If Biggie was out here on the West Coast, he was in the studio with me and we homeboys, and he got shot, no, I wouldn't tell him who did it, but I wouldn't go ride on niggas who did it, but he would want to know who did it. Then I'll be like, look, man, these niggas from Watts did it. This is why they want to talk to you. When. That's how I do it. Just like when the niggas from the 60s wanted to get a track. Just like when the niggas from the 60s wanted to get a track. Just like when the niggas from the 60s wanted to get a track. I went to them personally and talked to them. I do it by the rules of etiquette.
You know anything about that fight that Tupac and Treach had with the Rollin 60s? You know anything about that?
I heard about it. You know what I mean? And shout out to my man. What's my man name? Poppa LQ. You know what I mean? I forget what's his Instagram page. Muslim brother, Poppa LQ. He's from Rollin 60 Crips. He actually has something to do with that, to be able to mediate between Pac and the Rollin 60s.
And Tupac got word that the group they fought were Rollin 60s Crips, who put a green light on him and Treach. Knowing they were looking for them, Tupac wanted to squash it by talking to the gang leader himself, but Treach wasn't with it, feeling it would be crazy to be outnumbered, so he decided to fly back home to New Jersey. Tupac was now frustrated, feeling Treach left him to deal with the mess he didn't start. Outside his hotel, he noticed a rapper he knew who had some connects with the Crips named Kenny Kingpin, who was with another local rapper, Gonzo. He approaches Kenny. "Let me holler at you for a minute." Tupac explains what happened and tells him how he heard the gang was looking for him and Treach, but Treach left. And since he wasn't going anywhere, asked if he can get his homies on the phone and they could sort this out. Kenny tells him no problem. Calls on the leaders of the Rollin 60s, who picks up.
Because what happened, I don't even think it was a real fight, like how people saying it was a fight. You know, Pac said that it was, you know, because Treach back in the day, even though he's from Jersey, he used to always wear khakis. Khakis is a West Coast thing. You know what I mean? So some dudes from the Rollin 60s rolled up on him like, "What's up with these khakis? Like, are you banging or you representing the set?" And they Treach and them kind of got into it, but he was outnumbered, so he had the bell. You know what I mean? And Pac stayed, but because Pac was with Treach, word on the streets is that when they see Pac, this is what Pac, I heard him say this out of his mouth. Words on the street is that the Rollin 60s, if they see Pac, it's on sight. So when Pac heard of that, he went by himself, he said. But now Poppa LQ, I remember he mentioned something to me about that. He was able to help mediate. No, I think he said in an interview, matter of fact, that he was able to help mediate it because he knew Pac. He was always on tour with Pac and Digital Underground. And he said Pac called him one day, was like, "Look, I need to come to your hood and I need to holler at these people that's saying this and this and that." So Pac came by himself. You know, he pulled up in the Rollin 60 hood. He met with a whole bunch of Rollin 60 Crip dudes. And they respected him. They said, "Bro, we respect you. You came by yourself. You know what I mean? You basically, like, if there's a problem, I'm here. How can we settle it? You know what I mean?" And they respected him for that. But it wasn't a fight like I said, like some people saying it was a brawl.
So when the Rollin 60s came in, they came in cool, deep. And what they did, they came in first and they just started picking up chairs and bottles and all the rest of that. We heard a commotion in the back and like it wasn't really too much of nothing because we, you know, it could be fights anywhere, whatever. Before we got a chance to look back, like, pow, I got hit in the head with a chair. And bottles was like thrown on stage because whoever was on stage, bounced. They was out. It was a full, so when I turned around, that's when I walked around the big chain of lock around for all homies locked down. So I took that shit off immediately, popped, and everybody that was with us picked up bottles and chairs, and it just was like an all-out brawl. You know what I mean? So we ended up fighting our way. We got up out of it. You know what I mean? We did what we had to do.
It was a brawl. Now, Poppa LQ, you know what I mean? Maybe that's the next interview you get with Poppa LQ. I don't know if you remember him. He had a couple hits back in the day. I think he was signed to Rap Alot Records.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Today is the first installment of Press 5, hosted by Poppa LQ, also known as Kenny Kingpin. In this episode, LQ is going to be speaking with Damian Mujahid Williams, formerly known as Little Dame, aka Lil Football from ETG 83rd Street, who is currently serving a life sentence at the Folsom State Prison for a crime he did not commit. LQ hails from the Crenshaw district of South Central Los Angeles, a place known for its rich cultural and musical influence. His roots in the streets have shaped both his personal journey and his contributions to the world of hip-hop. Over the years, LQ has built a reputation not only as a key figure in the music industry, but also as someone who has remained true to his origins, giving back to his community. Poppa LQ really needs no introduction. He's been a notable figure in the hip-hop community, particularly connected to the influential Rap Alot records. Rap Alot is a legendary record label based in Houston, Texas, that helped shape the sound of Southern hip-hop and launch the careers of iconic artists like Scarface.
And you tuned in to Street Flavor right here. I'm gonna introduce some people, some partners of mine. Can y'all hear me? Can they hear me? I'm cool. All right, this is LaQuan on Rap Alot Records. Don't stop.
Producer right here,
Men of respect. Hit that thing hard, baby.
Even before LQ became affiliated with Rap Alot Records, he was already making waves in the music industry. One of his early accomplishments was being featured on the soundtrack for the 1991 film Strickly Business.
I knew you last night. I don't know about you, Bobby, but folks like me got to go to work in the morning. Hey, you see I'm in the house. Yeah, but you late.
Johnson.
This opportunity helped introduce him to a wider audience and marked the beginning of his journey in the music world, showcasing his connection to the culture and his ability to bridge the gap between music and film. His influence extends beyond the music scene, as he was even mentioned by Monster Cody Scott in the War Stories documentary.
I seen Poppa LQ from the 60s. I seen Poppa LQ from the 60s. I seen Poppa LQ from the 60s. I walked into him. I said, hey, yo. I said, man, gangster.
This speaks to Poppa LQ's impact on the streets and within the larger narrative of Los Angeles' gang culture, where his name has carried weight among those who lived it. With deep ties to the streets and the culture, Poppa LQ has maintained a strong presence in the hip-hop world.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's some major players out here that I grew up watching, man. Like Waterhead Bowl, you know, Freeway Rick, the real Ricky Ross. Man, I'm just gonna pay homage right here. You check it out. They say Jim Bob told on Pat got 10. Meech and his brother T got 30 apiece. Flint still on the streets, and so is Red and E. Black died and the feds made rest in peace. Big U home regulating the hood, but when Kid Rock was out, he was working with Suge. Suge was at the club and got knocked out on film by a barber off the east side, smaller than him. Some say was drunk and he didn't see it coming, but the boy got on YouTube, said he ain't running. Big can down in Lompoc, some say hot, but I ain't seen no paperwork, so that's a gridlock. Hunch touchdown, he walked his off, back posted in rocks like a big old boss. Lil Fee still on death row, fighting for his life. In fact, I'ma say a prayer for him tonight. You let the streets tell it, ain't no telling, but ain't no telling who out here telling. If you let the streets tell it, ain't no telling, but ain't no telling who out here telling. If you let the streets tell it, ain't no telling, but ain't no telling who out here telling. This is Playboy history. You youngsters need to listen. You might learn something. I suggest you pay attention. Remember Whitey?
Low rock, get my buzz on. Getting blood money, chop for my cuz on. Getting ready for the showdown. Choppers on deck, getting ready, about to go down. Slow down. You always on some next shit. Rolling 60 for the bank, nigga on my west shit. It's hard not to kill niggas. It's like a full-time job not to kill niggas.
His work continues to resonate within the rap community, helping bring attention to untold stories and giving a platform to voices that might otherwise go unheard. Through Press 5, his new platform, Poppa LQ is expanding his influence, offering a space to discuss pressing issues, especially those surrounding the criminal justice system and other real-life experiences. This adds another layer to his legacy, connecting music, culture, and activism. Damian Football Williams gained national attention during the 1992 Los Angeles riots, particularly for his involvement in the beating of truck driver Reginald Denny. Williams, who was 18 at the time, was seen on television delivering a brutal assault on Denny as he was pulled from his truck at a busy intersection in South Los Angeles. The attack, which was captured on live TV, became one of the most infamous images of the riots. Williams' actions led to his arrest, and in 1993, he was convicted of assault with a deadly weapon for the attack on Denny, though he was acquitted of more serious charges, including attempted murder. Williams was released after serving 4 years of his 10-year sentence, but soon found himself back in jail. He was convicted of participating in the 2000 murder of an LA drug dealer, and in 2003 was sentenced to 46 years in prison.
All from an incarcerated individual at the Folsom State Prison, Folsom, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now.
When you hear that, from now on, y'all know that means Press 5 and Kenny Kingpin is in the building. Let's go.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Facts. Facts.
Yeah, so yeah, we have, you know what I have to learn, what most of us have to learn coming from the urban cities. We got to really learn how the power structure works. And once you learn how it works, you know where to fit in at and what you need to do. But we don't learn in the right areas in the communities we come from. All the information and the knowledge that we receive, it was continue to keep us at the bottom. It wasn't to bring us to the top. Because even when that rebellion took place, if we knew the significance of a rebellion by reading history, what we learned, what took places in different rebellions, it can be a change maker or it can be a death blow. And to me, 1992 was a death blow because gang violence is still at an all-time high. There's more kids dying now from drug overdose than they ever have. The fact is still single-parent homes where mothers is raising their children. Black and brown are still filling the jail cells and still sitting in the courtroom getting a million years. So nothing really changed because we didn't put the right people in office. We didn't tell people to go to college during a rebellion. We told them to go burglarize the Western surplus or go hit a pawn shop or go hit a mixed check cash. So even those that got the resources from the crimes that they committed in the rebellion. They didn't take it and uplift the ghetto. They didn't get no food shelters. They didn't build no youth centers. They didn't give the kids a safe haven to go after school. So nothing changed. What, a few people got some business now, some dispensaries. What's a dispensary considered to a insurance firm? They're making way more money than that low budget ass dispensary or that t-shirt factory, the t-shirt place where they sell. So look how small we think. So like I told the district attorney, Wallahi, I swear by Allah, I told him, even though you didn't play fair, you saved my life because you gave me the ability to wake up. So I am not mad at the wake up. I'm not mad at the 20-something years I had to sit because you fabricated a story to get a conviction, because this 24 years woke me all the way up. I see the truth now. So I don't know how long I have left to live, but what I do know, I have gained the right tools in order to live a productive life and do my best to bring awareness to people that once thought like me, especially the youth. And I don't need money to do that. I believe what my mentor did, who, even though I have never had the opportunity to meet him, but I've sat down in many conversations with him in his prison cell with Malcolm X, and we dialogue through books. I've challenged him in so many different areas. I was spiteful towards him. I envied him because he had that discipline. When he got out, he never went astray. So I see what he say now. I see what he said, what's important about unity, what's more important about sitting down with the right people and bringing that universal change. So I understand it. But 92, I'd get on national TV and tell anybody 92 was a failure.
He's finna get into that before he gets into why he feels that 1992 riots was a failure. We want to salute to number one. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He say, salute Damu and Kiwe conversations and Poppa LQ. Now's the B turn was my joint to bust the move to.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that acknowledgement, number one. Number one, appreciate that.
We appreciate all donations, man. Appreciate that love. And so let me find out, can you send us a video of you busting the move at this age to now it's a big turn? I'm just saying, if you do it, then we gonna start a challenge and we gonna put that up there. You know what I'm saying? But we'll talk about that video later. Let's listen to the brother Mujahid.
It didn't change nothing.
But my pre-video, it was too. I was out and free, and running around, and from a community perspective and an overall political perspective, it was a total failure.
Black people still kill black people. Black people still beat up black people. Black people still put women on a whole show. Black men still live up in the house with a woman that's on welfare. Take all.
But I don't think the riots wasn't to, it was unplanned. It was a reaction. So I don't think it was to change any of those things. The initiative wasn't to change that, because it was just a mere reaction. I think that was like. I'm listening.
But you have those that was part of the different revolutionary apparatuses. If you sit down with them, they'll tell you it was changed, like the different Panthers and different movements. But it wasn't. It wasn't nothing good came up out of it. 57 people lost their lives, and I'm not ashamed to say this now. We didn't accomplish nothing. That Storm Florence is still currently owned by the Asians. All the stores still is owned by them. We didn't buy no business, no property. We didn't buy nothing. All we did is set a fire. And
what's Prisony land? What's Prisony land, brother? I'm looking at a show on NBC News. It's the closer look at how former inmates of Prisony land are doing in new jobs. Prisony land?
San Quentin.
Oh, okay.
San Quentin, that's the new place. Yeah. San Quentin, they changed that to a whole, like a college now. They changed everything. They got so many programs. That's Gavin Newsom hub up there, where he's really trying to really help the men up to evolve, so when they do return to society, that they can fit in. Because
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Obviously, you have to be at a certain level to be eligible for that program, right?
Well, you have to be disciplinary free. You have to be willing to go up there and challenge your own thinking. And we supposed to have been doing that a long time ago. Why is you waiting for somebody that puts you up on a lock and key to help better you? If I help better you, you'll never come back to prison. But now they see the importance of real rehabilitation. So some of the things that they have brought in, I'm gonna say 60% of the stuff they have brought into the prison system, it's been very helpful. It's been helpful. That's if you really pay attention to it. But a lot
or
of
apply it.
don't
Well,
pay
yeah,
attention
like
to it.
anything else in life, you will definitely have to apply it. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, they just want the milestone so they can go home early. Or they just want it because they want to appeal to the prison board in order to get a release date. Because so many dudes have been a long joke, and you see them out there, especially within the A trades and within the neighborhood car. A lot of them old dudes came home, and some of them still engaging in a lot of the
foolishness,
adolescent acts, because they trying to catch up for lost time, drinking, hanging out on the motorcycle scene, hanging at the functions. And that's why it's so funny to me, because I was in prison with a lot of them dudes that's out, and they was going to church and everything. They wasn't even throwing up no three fingers in neighborhood. They wasn't doing none of that. So what happened?
Became a part of, like you say, taking.
You made it.
Yeah, and like you said, taking part in the adolescence, thinking like they trying to miss something, and you missed something, all right.
But
the important stuff.
But all that teach me is what not to do upon my return. That's all it do. When I see all that failure, I said, okay, yeah, they were faking it. But I'm not judgmental. But like I always say, and I tell the brothers, don't be mad when Allah show you the truth. Be mad when you left in the blind. The truth is your wake-up call. And that's what Allah says. He says, you know, trials and tribulations is not a bad thing in all actuality. But it's bad to those that don't heed it. So I heeded this journey. And what I grew to do is, most men not going to say it, I grew to love my journey no matter where I'm at. Because when you look at the lives of the prophets, alayhi salam, all of them in the Kitab, from Moses to Abraham to the mother of Mary to Joseph, Allah sent them all through trials and tribulations. He had to split the Red Sea for Moses to get away, alayhi salam, to get away from Pharaoh. He put Yusuf in jail so he wouldn't give into fornication to the king's wife Zuleika when she tried to seduce him, and he brought him up and put him in the king's favor. Then you look at Abraham. Allah put him in a fire and didn't let the fire burn him. Look at the allegations they raised against Mary because she never had laid in the bed with a man. They couldn't believe the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he conceived Isa alayhi salam. So look at all that stuff that they've been through because they went through the struggle to get the blessing. They didn't go through the struggle to go to the pain. They went through the struggle to get the blessing. If they understood what was taking place, I understand from the book of Allah is what's taking place with me. I understand from the history that I studied from our people, and as well as American history, I understand the struggle. I understand that sometimes your setup and your spanking is for your blessing.
I want you to know something, Do you know, you say the benefit that you receive
This
from your
call
journey?
and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
The benefits that you received from the journey, you say it was an eye-opener. Just know that benefit is not only benefiting you, it's benefiting the people that you share your wisdom and your experience with. Those of us who pay close attention. Because I always look at your situation like that could have been me. You know how many times I've been in a situation where I was in jeopardy and left vulnerable, so all somebody had to do was lie on me. I've been to jail. When I went to jail in 2001, someone lied on me. I really went to jail for a lie. I didn't go to jail for what the crimes I was really doing. Alhamdulillah, probably still being there, right? But you know what I'm saying? And when you share your insight and the wisdom you've grown, I receive blessings from that too. You know what I'm saying? It helps my decision making, makes me reflect and pay attention. So you know what I'm saying? So it's a blessing for more than just you, Aki. For real, for real. You know? Mm-hmm. You with me?
Hello?
Yeah, you back now. Yeah, that's them headphones. That's them headphones. I can tell them static and everything.
Alhamdulillah.
Working out with the headphones on, huh?
No, I just turned it. I got a radio, so I just turned the radio on. But you know, these things is very fragile, so you have to sit in one spot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now they get shortest. Yeah, but like I say, man, you know, at the end of the day, you determine the outcome of what takes place with you. And, you know, for so long, we have played the blame game. We pointed the finger at so many people as to why our lives was out of control. But anything that's out of control can find control if you do the necessary work in order to put things back in order. When things are so out of order, we just give up. We feel there's no hope. And that's where your faith come in. And when you riding on your faith, and your faith is your headlights, you're going to find your destination. And I'm a prime example of that. From all the stuff that I've been through the abuse, through, you know, getting shot, through being stabbed in prison, you know, being blasted on national TV all around the world, and every other month they still showing that situation. If I didn't have what Allah gave me, I would have been and broke down because I didn't understand it. But I kept asking Allah for guidance. I kept telling Allah, guide me and let me understand. Give me the clarity that I need in order to not sink. Don't let me do myself no more. And that's what people have to understand. Don't nobody do you like you do yourself when you're not thinking correctly. And that's why so many people's on a pack of Newports, drinking a fifth of hen, smoking 19 blunts, overeating. You're doing yourself. Ain't nobody opened your mouth. Your brain, your sick brain told you to open your fat mouth, and you consumed. So basically, Allah gonna ask you on the day of judgment, why did you murder yourself? You didn't murder yourself physically. You murdered yourself spiritually.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And look what you did to yourself. You burnt up your livers. You made your heart horrible. You killed your kidneys. You killed your lungs. Look what you did. I didn't bring you into the world like that. And that's how you returned back to me. And I gave you a natural state. When you first came into existence, I brought you to the world pure. But you're going to come bring me a whole bucket. I'm telling you, this is the way I think. This is the way I be saying to myself. I said, oh, no, I'm going out like that.
You have clear thinking. That's something to think about. He gave us a pure, good, clean vessel. We returned it all messed up, abused,
bring it back
mistreated.
All dented up. Yeah. You know it's bad when you got stretch marks on your ass.
Give me my.
So we're gonna stop sharing that right there. That is the first episode in part 1 of the interview with Mujahid, formerly known as Lil Football from A-Trade Gangster, hosted by Poppa LQ, aka Kenny Kingpin, man. The brother is so deep, y'all ain't seen nothing. He was just introducing and getting y'all accustomed to brother Mujahid when just his energy, his spirit, and where he's at in his spiritual journey is just inspiring. Be looking forward next week. Every Friday, we gonna hit y'all with another Press 5. Kenny Kingpin, let me introduce you to the world that don't already know who you is, man. Let them know where you were born at, what section you was born at, and we'll start right there, man.
Well, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, the youngest of 6 kids. We moved out here. I was the only one out of the 6 siblings that was raised out here in California. We moved out here from St. Louis. We moved to the Crenshaw district. When we shortly after we moved out here in California from St. Louis, my mother and father divorced. Mom's was on 10th Ave. My sister, my brother, and Pops was in Baldwin Hills. And that was the trajectory from there. I went to Override, I went to Westchester, I went to Horseman, I went to school in the section. I grew up in the section. I got my first recording contract at 15. I was blessed to get that. That was by way of Bobcat, who was LL Cool J's DJ at the time. So I got that deal, and I've been on that path right there, mastering my craft, getting into it and learning the business of entertainment, and pushing the section at the same time.
Hey, listen, man, what a way to juggle things, right? So I gotta tip my hat to you, but I'm quite sure everybody is gonna be able to fully understand it. So let's get back up a little bit into your upbringing. So, and we don't gotta go too deep, but I don't want people to get the wrong idea as if you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. What was not only we see that your parents separated, right? So you're staying probably with your mom at some point, your dad at some point, right? And I'm quite sure what other calamities and or hard time did you go through during those times besides not being able to share a home with both of those parents?
Well, we're a typical black family, in the inner city of America. And being the youngest of 6, there's only 2 of us alive today. Out of 6 children, my mother 93 now, there's only 2 of us living. I lost 2 sisters and 2 brothers, all the drugs. You know what I'm saying? And that lifestyle. I participated in the distribution of narcotics for survival purposes because it was around me and it was a way to survive. I had 2 sisters that died from heroin. They brought that addiction out here with them from St. Louis. That was a popular drug back then, and they continued to use that here in California, and end up dying, one of AIDS and one of HIV. My other sister, they were sharing needles. So, just dealing with all that at a young age, and then having to balance a rap career, you know what I'm saying? And then growing up in the Crenshaw district, everything that came with that. Growing up over there, I had to deal with that. You feel me? And, being a young artist at the same time, considered as the first rapper out of the Crenshaw district to actually receive a recording contract. Not the first one rapping, of course, but to get that contract. And that puts you in a different position, in a different light as a 15-year-old. So I had to carry some things on your shoulder on my shoulders with that too. And just balancing the duality. Pops was a hustler. He was a businessman, entrepreneur. Huh? Yeah, entrepreneur. Yeah, known throughout the city. You know what I'm saying? Ayatollah Marv was one of his friends, Captain Shahid, Compton Mosque, 54 in Compton. So I grew up around a lot of the Nation of Islam. And that's where my Islamic influence come from, you know.
Yeah.
Big U was a good friend of my father's as well, and our families are tight. And that's where that relationship comes from, ever since we moved out here from California, on the dime in Baldwin Hills. What'd you say?
When y'all first moved to California from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, as a family. You see, part of my family is from Chicago and part of them St. Louis, naturally Midwest. And in that time, a lot of families from the Midwest was moving to California. As we know, they call it the second migration. You know, when the industrial area was coming to an end, a lot of people was leaving the Midwest, Ohio, Detroit, and moving to California, St. Louis, and whatnot, Illinois, and so forth.
Right. Oh, well, Miss Tammy says, salute everyone. Shout out to being from my city, St. Louis, STL. You know
The
what I'm saying?
STL
So
to the
Miss
loop, to the loop.
Yeah, Miss Tammy definitely represented. So, okay, now you get in you're coming through this struggle that a lot of average black families in, especially in South Central LA and inner cities throughout the United States go through, and then you see this music element. What made you believe that you could do it at such a young age? And then what put you into position to creating now it's the B turn?
Okay, my father came out here from St. Louis. Um, it's funny, you know, when younger, you don't really know what's going on, and as you grow your understanding, you figure out what's going on around you. My father was what they would call one of Frank Lucas boys. He was one of the Lucas boys. So he came out here off a lick. Facts. And that trouble would end up following him, and that was the cause of my father and my mother splitting. But when he had made his pass, he wanted to get in something legit and start a business. Well, my father was friends with Dick Griffey, who had Solar Records, which was abbreviated for the
Shout
Sounds of
out
Los Angeles.
SMG. Shout out
Yes.
SMG.
Yeah, and they had Babyface, Atlantic Star, Howard Hewitt, and that was one of his buddies. Gerald Busby, what is his buddy? And all those guys. So, and Clarence Avant was a good friend of my dad's as well. Well, all those guys had R&B on lock. So my father wanted to take his money and start a different type of company. So he did gospel. And his gospel label ended up having the first gospel artist to go to get a Grammy. Excuse me. His name was Durrell Coley, and it was Plumline Records. And the records company, my father's record company, was on Crenshaw, right there on Crenshaw and
Right.
Exposition, right next to the mosque
The
where the
X1.
mosque is right now. It was
Okay.
Plumline Records, and I used to work there doing the shipping and going up to Mr. Griffey's office. Dick Griffey was like a godfather of mine. So that saying, the hip hop phase and movement came. I caught the bug. I started off as a DJ. So Pops bought me some turntables. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing, and I was always into the music. I had drums. I was just into music because it was in my family. I had a sister singing and whatnot. Pops doing the business side of it. So, I had a creative gift. So my father, he wanted to invest in it, keep me, into the rhythm. So I end up discovering these samples, and I knew Bobcat. See, Bobcat grew up in the 40s, and I'm right next door in the 60s. So back then, he was L Cool J's DJ. You know what I'm saying? We was all into it. But long story short, I was in a group called Minister Society. Me and a brother Aleem and Dismos. A lot of people know Dismos. He wrote for Easy E and so forth. And he doing this thing too. Shout out to my partner Dismos and Aleem. Well, we had we had a sample that I came up with from a Sly Stone break and Funky Drummer, and I put them together. So anyway, we did a song to it called Acknowledge the Blindness. We wanted to take the song to another level, so I gave it to Bobcat to put it through the SB12. Anyway, Bobcat ended up having to go back on tour with L Cool J. Next thing you know, we hear Mama say knock you out with our beat on it.
Right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I remember when we was in prison, you was telling me about how LL Cool J ended up getting your beat. So tell me how,
Yeah.
explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so I guess when I gave the sample idea to Bobcat, he ended up going back on tour with LL and must have shared the idea. L felt it. So you know how that goes. The money go,
Right.
the bag gonna win every time, right?
Right.
So he ended up with the beat. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And we was despondent. Young, man, we was 14, 50. Of course, we was very despondent. That was our intro to the record business right there. Bing. This is the game.
It get
This is
greasy
how it's
real
gonna go.
fast, huh?
Yeah,
It
Bill,
get
boom. This
greasy
is
real
cutthroat,
fast.
baby. This is what it is. It's cutthroat. So look, so naturally, I'm expressing my discontent. Bobcat is a big homie. Was a real big homie. He was like, "Look, what you want to do, man? You want some money or you want a record deal?" So me thinking long term, I want the record deal. So long story short, he had to go back on tour with El Cool J. He introduced me to these two Jewish cats. They went by the name of Wolf and Epic. and they were producing MC Light, BBD, New Edition, Ralph Tresvant, getting busy, getting their money. Okay, so he took me to Sherman Oaks to meet these cats. When I meet them, I did some rapping for them. We just vibing out in the studio. Richard Wolf, the senior of the two of Wolf and Epic, they were a production duo called Peace Production. He told me he had an opportunity for a soundtrack. They had the bullet points written for what kind of song they wanted. So he started cooking up a beat, him and Brett, right then and there. So I start writing what I'm feeling, you know what I'm saying? He's asked me, could I, write something with these bullet points that was the subject matter and what they wanted about. It was a conscious idea. He said it's for a movie that was coming out that was executive produced by Russell Simmons and Andre Harrell. I knew who those people were. I said, yeah, I want this opportunity. I laid the song, followed the bullet points, made sure the subject matter was in context, and it came out to be Now's the Beat Turn. What Richard he was working with BBD at the time. We had Ricky Bell from New Edition sing the hook. And that's what you hear on Everybody Ride. That's Ricky Bell. Turned the song in, the song hit. They loved it. It ended up becoming the main trailer for the movie Strickly Business. And that's how I got in the game. That's my intro into the record business. Sync licensing is what that's called.
Facts. Oh, we definitely gonna get into intellectual property and the business of music because that's kind of like our lane. So you come with it's the beat turn, it's the black turn, right? A conscious record. But mind you, you a street dude coming up out of St. Louis, then Los Angeles, which obviously has the gang subculture. Then you take your next record that was of note was in 1995, right? CJ Mack drops True Game on Rap Alot Records, peaking at number 4 on the U.S. Billboard Top R&B Hip Hop charts, right?
Well, what happened was I had a second single after Now's the Beat Turn. That soundtrack sync licensing deal ended up getting me a full-on record deal. Okay. See, it happened in phases. I didn't just get the record deal. After the single performed, which went gold, by the way. And I ended up on the soundtrack. That soundtrack, Strickly Business soundtrack, actually it was 2 singles on that soundtrack. It was Mary J. Blige's first single and my single. Okay. And then after I got the album deal, I had a second single called Swing Blue and Sweat Black. It was produced by the Bomb Squad, who produced Ice Cube. And it did good. It did both of those songs did real good overseas. Excuse me.
Didn't the Bomb Squad also produce Public Enemy?
Yeah, that was the Public Enemy's producer, and they worked with Ice Cube on when he went solo on America's Most Wanted. So I had him do my second single, which was Swing Blue and Sweat Black. I did a video to that, which did good, especially overseas. Being that it did such strong numbers overseas, Ice Cube took me on tour with him overseas. And that was like my first tour experience at 15, 16 years old. He took me over there. Right. So, that put me in the game. I started learning the ways. I had a lot of guidance from a lot of people up and coming before I got the deal. DJ Pooh, King T kept me in the studio. I used to piggyback off Tupac. When Tupac was working on his first album, before he came out. You know what I'm saying? I met Tupac actually before he came out with his first album at Tone Loc House back then.
What was that? Strictly for my niggas?
Yeah, before he came out, he was working on it. You know what I'm saying? And my homie Suave had us rapping against each other. That's how big Pac met. So so at Echo Sound, the studio in Glendale, Pooh and King T and them used to be up there, and they used to let me get in. Me and Aleem and Dismos, we used to get in when Pac wasn't working, it wasn't in town, and wasn't working. So imagine having to wait till Tupac wasn't working or somebody to get in. Nigga never got in the studio.
To get some free studio time.
Hey, Poppa LQ, we don't know you. Hey, you a liar on Power Room. We got the receipts. Pac didn't even fuck with you. I didn't fuck with Pac, but Pac didn't fuck with you or Deuce Sims. Hey, listen, fuck your shit. Fuck Press 5. It's 2 P's in the B, blood. This is my conversation. hey, dudes, why the fuck you let this nigga on stage, bro? Damn.
Hey.
Kick this nigga out.
Hey, CS2 back. Hey, bro, you just threw us all the way off with that, but we got a super chat real quick. Yael, go ahead with the super chat,
Man,
bro.
salute to the super chat. We got number one with the $5 super chat. Salute to Menace
Salute
to
to Juan.
Society. Before the movie, I went to Washington with Diz. So salute to you. Number one, anything and everything, give it to the Damu Kiwe conversation is a blessing. Bless you and your tribe, man, and your family.
Yeah, I apologize for letting Pop LQ in your personal base. You know?
Not personal base.
I tell everybody the real content is our morning conversations. They don't know. They don't know that
Oh man, that
content.
shit go crazy. And these niggas be bullshit politicking. Hey, everybody,
Hey, bro, don't get to putting our business out in the street. But back to Quan. So okay, so you dropped that when you go on tour with Q, the Don Mega. Obviously, my 1A and 1B. You already friends with Tupac Shakur. When you first met Pac, was he on tour at that time, or was he
Well,
was
no,
still
yeah,
in
Tupac was going
Digital
on tour on it, basically on tour with Digital Underground that whole time. You feel me? Doing that, he was the roadie and hype man and playing all roles in that, and he was being Tupac. You feel me?
Right.
And so that's where I really met him, and we started forging our relationship before he came out with his first. Then we had a mutual friend who was a former Black Panther who used to work at Long Beach State College, I believe his name is Shaker Abubakar. And he was a friend with Tupac's father, rest in peace.
Yeah, you talking about Matula.
Matula. Shaker Abubakar is one of Matula's comrades. And Shaker was a friend of my family, my father, and my older sister. So he reforged me and Tupac's relationship too, because he was friends with Tupac's mom and his dad or stepdad, whatever. And you know what I'm saying? We started getting together on the Black Panther conscious political tip. I mean, reading books, giving each other books, reading literature, and comparing those like that. I started breaking them down, the acronym of the Community Revolutionary and Party Service. He fell in love with that. And him and my sister Nefertiti, whose brother is DeMar, who's with Rambo. They popular bells bombing throughout the city. Salute to them. They like family to me as well, who's also a family connected to the Nation of Islam. I'm telling you that. So this is the mindset that we come from as teenagers. You feel what I'm saying? As young teenagers in the music business
Not
as
just
well.
young teenagers, young creative.
Exactly, young creatives. So that's how I forged that relationship. And we released the album and went on tour, started making my bones. And at that time, I had a manager, Greg Mack, who was a host on 1580 K-Day. That was my manager when I first got in. Being that he was a popular radio host on a popular radio station, he had actually got a job going to go up north at that time. And it was time for me to find another manager. And that other manager ended up being Big U. And that's what happened
Let's
before
talk
he went to
about
jail.
that.
What
Let's
you
talk
say?
about that, because while we was talking about Pop, I wanted to segue into the story about Pop, which seems to be ruffling feathers and got the internet a buzz with Noble and Napoleon, brother Mutai from the Outlaws. So, matter of fact, let's get to this, and then we're going to get into you being the primary reason that Big U was forced into the entertainment and music business and as a management position. So I just seen another clip where Napoleon and Edie were together, and Napoleon is denounced being an outlaw, and it all stems from a story that we just seen in the Press 5 that Scandalous Los Angeles put together, and where it was an incident where the Rollin 60 Crips allegedly had a green light on Treach from 90 by Nature and Tupac. So you want to tell us how that came about, how you even became familiar with that, and speak on that while all of this is going on? Clear that up.
Yeah, see, well, first of all, shout out to Treach, man. You know, we've crossed paths throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? There's a high regard. He also be with my partners, Boo and them. They from out of Inglewood. They was, you know, the double I. And they was with my partner Gooch in the group. I know all them dudes. Them, you know, they real Damus, and they know me from a teenager, right? So salute to them. But what happened with that was I don't know what happened was the fight with the melee. I wasn't there for the melee, right? So I don't never even like to even elaborate on that part. But the next day, I seen Tupac because he was staying at the Hilton Hotel, which is directly next to the Comedy Store where the incident occurred or what have you. And he was concerned. He expressed his discontent because Treach had went back to Jersey for whatever reason. He was Treach. He had, you know, it could have been whatever reason. And he was like, he got to deal with the aftermath because he hearing rumors that it was allegedly a green light on him by the Rolling 60s. So I'm coming from the section. Pac knew that. He knew other people from the section. He was making phone calls. He just happened to run into me, right? And we called one of the people who was at the incident, who he had the incident with, because I knew about it. Because it was a prior incident the week prior. There's a reason why the homies came up there deep like that. And you know,
But
a
the
couple
week
of them,
prior was an actual real gang.
a gang confrontation, a gang.
Right. I think he got stuck. Well, hold on. We gonna wait till he come in here. Damu Kiwe conversation. Yael. They got
Man,
the
this is a
brother
dope.
stuck. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll be back, man. He going through a little technical difficulties, but don't let it stop the Damu Kiwes from rolling and going, you know, because hey, we up and running. Salute to Deuce Sims, Bremen M for the Damu Kiwe conversation panel, man. Listen, we got Poppa LQ on stage with yours truly, Yael the Kiwe pop star. I'm sitting here just being a fly on the wall, absorbing all of this information from the interviews to the new segment to, you know, dudes elaborating, getting these questions out the way, and Poppa LQ giving his dissertation on the new Press 5 segment. So, man, salute everybody on Clubhouse. If you're on Clubhouse in the chat, y'all know that's where it's at. Salute to the mobs. That's always on their job, and everybody on Clubhouse. And salute everybody in the chat, man, our normal, valid supporters that's always coming in, man. Salute to you guys. Salute to the Blue Wrench mob that's always on their job. And salute to everybody that like, comment, and subscribe. Share it, tell a friend, and tap in with the real ones, the voice of the West Coast, the voice of the culture. We got Deuce Sims, the Don, Kenny Kingpin, a.k.a. Poppa LQ, Yael, and Damu Kiwe. Conversation.
Okay,
I'm back.
now we got Poppa
Yeah, I don't know
LQ.
what that was about. I don't know what that was about. Let's pick up. We'll pick up. Yeah. So what I was saying was,
you weren't
yeah.
at the hotel.
So at the hotel, I called one of the members that Pac and them had Pac and Treach had the confrontation with, and they spoke about it. Pac went to the hood. You know what I'm saying? He got party favors and he chilled. He chilled, and to the point because
Oh yeah, his thing is going bad. Right at the good part. We gonna have to start this part back over. Cause it was the meat on the bones. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe he gotta turn his Wi-Fi on. But we got my brother in the building, Tommy T Top Rivers. Always up. Keep going, little bro. Hey man, he definitely always up. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, that's one of his new singles. Y'all go check that out. Kenny Kingpin, always up, always up. Even when I fall, land on my knee, land on my feet, always up. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so crazy, right? That this one rapper starts off with now it's the beat turn, right? A more New Jack Swing flavor with I think he said Michael Vivens or Ricky Bell, one of the dudes from BBD. So that whole flavor, he came out with that on a conscious song, a conscious level. Him and Tupac hit it off because you know nobody does conscious hip hop better than Tupac did, right? Hands down, he's the creme de la creme. They link up, and now you have this situation because Poppa LQ is still tied in with the Crenshaw district in the neighborhood Crips. Rich Rollin is how he's going to better describe it, right? So Pop understood and knew this from when they were on tour, and that when he had the problem, thought enough about Kenny Kingpin, Pop LQ's character, to once he seen him to bring it up and ask him about what was going on. Pop LQ make a few calls, get on the phone with the actual dudes that had the melee, and the next day, Tupac pull up to the Rolling 60s by himself. What courage, right? This a brother from New York that moved around in the inner cities from there to BMO, another slum, right? From the Bronx to Baltimore. From Baltimore, he moved to Marin City, right? And he started going to LA. You know what I'm saying? At that time, him and Big Syke, he was hanging in the 40s. But he was moving around in LA doing what he was doing, right? He stayed in Atlanta for a period. So this dude had enough courage to come by himself to one of the most notorious Crip gangs in Los Angeles, who he heard had a green light on him and Treach. And he's trying to figure out why is it he got a green light on him when he didn't even have nothing to do with or starting the problem. The problem was with Treach. Allegedly, he was wearing khakis, G'd up. And in LA, that means you banging, especially back then. Where you from? And they was on some gang bang time. And that's where that was going. Monster Cody said Papa was shook when he introduced himself to him. I would have been shook if I seen Monster too. You know what I'm saying? What they say is scared man to do you quicker than a killer. I understand and respect that threat, but he better respect me being the threat also. Believe that. You know what I'm saying? But he just said what he said about Pop LQ. We just played that. And he said he seen him and he told him that. We're going to ask him about that. Matter of fact, there you go. Let him finish the Tupac story. You back with us, King?
Yeah. So we called one of the members. Yeah, that was actually football right there. That was kind of important. We got good news. You know, they had the court today. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get a chance to watch it, but he heard it was positive. So I just want to give everybody that word that he did call in. He had court today. That was one of the reasons why we ran the story. And he was concerned about if it was going to be reflective, but I guess it's coming back that he know that it was positive because he wanted people to see the mind state he in now, not where he was. Continue on from the Tupac incident. I called one of the members that Tupac and him had the confrontation with. He came down to the hood with Favors Shield, worked it out, talked it out. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the only person he knew from the section. So he made his rounds and connected and kicked it to the point where I left and he stayed. It was a couple of hours. You know what I'm saying? Me and Pac stayed tight, continuing on in. You know what I'm saying? He was very active in the riots. All those who know Pac was Pac. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that was him. That was my real guy. You know what I'm saying? He never told me Treach ran.
Right.
He never said that. He said Treach left town. Now, that was Treach at the time. He probably had a million reasons to have to leave town. I don't know. That was between him and Pac. Again, I wasn't there for it.
But
Pac was upset. He was disturbed by it.
Right.
But that's they homeboys, bro. They was homeboys after that incident. But that was a disturbance because Pac expressed it to me. You know what I'm saying? I still talk to the members who more than a few of the members who got into it with Treach in the 90 Violation there. One of the homies bumped into him and it escalated. You know what I'm saying? They say Treach stayed down. He did fight. Some say that he got slept. Some say he squabbled. So that was mixed up.
But that don't even matter.
It don't even matter. They say he stayed down, and they got a lot of respect for Treach right now today. They say he's solid. The people he got into it with then. So if they feel that way, who are we to feel any different? You feel me? So that's how I handle that one. You know.
Right. Well, let before one more thing before we get into Big U and the management situation. I just seen a comment, right? And a dude, oh there goes CLT. He said, Monster Cody said Poppa was shook when he introduced himself to him. So I want to hear the story of how it went to clarify that, because obviously this dude.
I'm gonna get some of the reaction. Y'all gotta go to Kenny Kingpin, aka Poppa LQ, and run my YouTube page up for me. Kenny Kingpin, aka Poppa LQ.
Send the link to my
Yeah, y'all run that up, and I'm gonna give a reaction. But I'm listen. That was a New Tribe Rap Alot showcase. That was right before Scarface album was about to drop, The Diary. It was Soul Train Award weekend. And me and CJ Mack was performing on stage, opening up for Scarface and the Loonies. It was 100 hustlers in there. 30s to the hundreds and East Coasters. Rest in peace to my homie King Lou. We was up in the VIP section.
Rest in peace, King Lou.
Yeah, rest in peace, King Lou. Me and King Lou was in the VIP section at the Billboard. Now listen, I'm younger than Monster Cody. His peers that banged him, it was Big D, Big S Mac, Big Sleep, Big GB, rest in peace. Lil Nicky Bam. But I mean, with some real hitters in there, some real rollers in there. I didn't even go into the 30s with some real coasters in there. So I'm saying to say this, we was in the VIP section. Now, sister by the name of Felicia, the poetess, she's a radio host out of Pasadena. Salute to poetess, Felicia. Salute to my homegirl. That's my homegirl, right? She come up to me and said, my boyfriend likes your music. He wants to meet you. I'm like, cool. We in the VIP section. So me and King Lou, we started going over to the tables. They had a little VIP table. You know what I'm saying? She's a radio host. She was working on, I think, the Beat or one of them stations at the time. You know. So boom, we walk. When I walk, I see the silhouette. Right? We in the club. I see the tuck, the big hat, looking like your boy out of the Baby Boy, right?
Right.
I see the silhouette. He got the derby on. I'm like, oh. This is her boy. I can't believe that she's a square. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I would never assume that her boyfriend would have been Monster Cody. Long story short, as we walking closer to the table, King Lou like, cuz, that looks like Monster Cody, right? So I already know it's him.
Right.
I'm like, so I already said it. I'm like, damn, as we get closer, I see the ETG, like, yep, that's him. We get closer, he like y'all music, like you and CJ stuff. He said, I know your brother Pedro. Rest in peace to my older brother. Did a lot of prison time. You know what I'm saying? And he's the hitter in there. You know what I'm saying? He used to be Sally's with Roy Summers, Silky, Mario. You know what I'm saying? Out the Hoovers and them. Our families are close too. Long story short, him and Mr. Cody were cool. So when he did that, he was playing. He was trolling me way back then. See, people didn't know that. He was actually trolling me when he did that. Long story short, it was no way in the world I would have been shook. Monster Cody, when he introduced himself, boom, I went downstairs. I was doing press. And in my mind, people asked me, I was thinking, damn, is he gonna make it out of here? Before we even got a chance to get on stage, before anybody performed, I look and Monster Cody is leaving out. I'm standing by the exit with some of the older homies, and he hugged me and said, man, like y'all music, stay positive, keep going. And he left before the show started. So I don't know what I would have been shook about.
Right.
To answer that, it was nothing for me to be shook. He wasn't. And then, so anyway, some weeks later, after that, he gave that interview. And my homie, baby CJ, called me. He's like, man, you need to come see this. This nigga Monster Cody's speaking on you. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, the streets was different. So I didn't really take that, I didn't take it as a joke then. Because I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have the 8 trays out here. You know what I'm saying? They just put me in you know what I'm saying? Putting a target on me. You feel what I'm saying? I'm already dealing with the music, people looking at me that know me or I don't know them. That was never a comfortability for me. So I'm like, oh, here we go, right? So I'm in the traffic on deck now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not feeling it at the time. But you know what I'm saying? Long story short, my brother ended up calling me, laughing about it. You know what I'm saying? And he was really trolling me. You know what I'm saying? And it was nothing to be terrified of. I was cushioned, man. All the big homies. When he hugged me, the homies was like, Big D and everything. What cuz said it? I'm like, nah, he said he like our music, and because CJ was standing next to me, he didn't say nothing to CJ because that's his peers. So I was like, why he I was more approachable, obviously, right?
Right.
I was the youngest one, so you go there. That's what that was about,
Wow. Hey, you got some and we ain't even halfway through some historical encounters, especially being on both sides. So now let's talk about how you forced Big U into management and entertainment. How the hell did this come about, right?
Well, how that go? I said Greg Mack was a radio host on K-Day back then, and he had to attend to his business, his main job. He was managing me on the side, moonlighting as a manager. So I had to find a new manager, and I wanted someone aggressive, and Big U was managing things already, right?
Right.
And but he was on some entrepreneur. This was my pops partner, so they're down there masterminding. We sitting in Maze on Crenshaw. A lot of people from the hood probably don't know about Maze. They're too new to know. Long story short, I knew he'll make a good manager for how I want to come in the game. And what I was seeing as I was navigating the game too, I've seen what I needed to do and what do we need to squeeze to do what we need to do, right? So I was like, I need an aggressive manager, somebody that's gonna foot patrol this. Right? I got the guy. So when I did my second video, I was making the transition to my new manager. And Draws Big U, he come up to the video, Swing Boom Sweat Black, for those who know that. He was right on set for that whole video. This is shortly before he, went to jail, before him and Eddie caught that case. You know what I'm saying? And, we was navigating. He was sitting in on the meetings. He had met the Wolf and Epic, the producers I was signed to. I was signed to a production agreement through them at the time. And, immediately he was like, we got to get you out the agreement. What's going on with the publishing? Because he was learning. And, Pops, he was doing his own research. My Pops had a whole record company. So Pops was crash course schooling us. You ain't never selling no publishing, son. That's not even on the table.
Right.
And he didn't even really want to rap. He wanted me to be on the executive tip. So that's why I moved kind of different as an artist as a result of that. You know what I'm saying? Me and you, that's what me and you on, the intellectual properties and stuff. And that's the curriculum we building soon to come and whatnot, And long story short, Draws ended up catching the case, him and Eddie, and gone. And then in between that time is how we end up transitioning to Rap Alot. Of course, I don't know if everyone know, at one point in time, Big U and Harry were cellies at one point back, some years back. So I get a phone call and okay, I end up leaving it after I left the whole Now's the B-Turn deal when LaQuan, I'm transitioning, and I leave the label. Right, because they go through some label changes. I think Universal, Polygram bought our island and so forth, and that transition, that corporate merger occurred. So when I leave the label, I'm being courted by Eazy-E, Rufus Records, John and Michael, the Dust Brothers. They had Delicious Vinyl, and my homeboy Anti from out the 50s, and Greedy Greg, who was KK and D's Second to None, AMG, DJ Quick manager. They started a label called Outburst. Yeah, they started a label called Outburst Records. First artist was Domino. Of course, I have a relationship with Battle Cat already. He did Domino's whole first album. I'm featured on Domino's first album. So coming off the success of my first single and the soundtrack, and then doing the Domino album, I have a little steam within the industry. And I guess Harrio had expressed an interest in signing me. Right. And Draw Big U called me and told me that before they even approached signing me. And he was like, but he knew I had more than one deal on the table. And mind you, he went to jail as my manager. So of course he's still calling me as he reading and they're reading and we building, and he's still directing me in the decision making and helping me behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Not just him, but he was vital in that. You know what I'm saying? The other homies were too once we signed the deal on the outside, the things that he couldn't do. You feel me? And what I'm saying that is, I end up making a decision to sign to Jay Prince and not Harrio. I didn't even know Harrio was going to even approach to sign me until Draws told me. And then some months passed, and one day I'm at the studio with Battle Cat, and Harrio team approached me for a record deal. They had David Kenner there and everything with the contract ready. I decided not to sign the contract. And at that same meeting at a recording studio, I run into Jay Prince, who was James Smith at the time, who owned Rap Alot Records. That's how I met him, and that's how I ended up signing the Rap Alot. I met him at the studio, And then the next morning, we had a breakfast a meeting, talk business and whatnot. I was kind of like tripping because he was already kind of familiar with me, but not too familiar with me. But when he first came to pick me up the next morning, I didn't know he was the actual owner. I thought he was an A&R for the label because that's how low key James J. Prince was. It is, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, so when he pulled up, he had an artist in the car with him who I was familiar with, and that was Seagram from the Bay Area. So I already had knew
Right?
Seagram. What'd you say?
The Seagram from Richmond.
He's from the Bay. I think he's from East Oakland. I don't know if he's from. I don't think he's from Richmond.
Okay.
Seagram from the East Bay. You know what I'm saying? From up north. That's he one of my. I've been up going on some Bay LA for a long time. You know what I'm saying? On some on some Bay LA, California. You know what I'm saying? From the top to the bottom for a long time. So I already knew Seagram scrambling in the streets. So when he pulled up with Jay, I'm like, huh? And then when we got to Roscoe's, Jay had to use the restroom, and that's when I found out through Seagram who he actually was. He was like, "You know who that is, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's an A&R for rapper." He said, "No, it's not, nigga. That's the owner." I'm like, "Huh?" "Oh, yeah, it's on." So I already knew it was game on right then and there. So we sat at the table, put together. He told me he wanted to do a West Coast wing of Rap Alot. He wanted some other artists. So that's when I introduced him to CJ and another group called the Name of Menace Clan. And I started bringing in the other producers, the Boskos. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Bosko and the whole Northwest Portland family. Battle Cat, AMG as a producer. He produced some songs in that first album, that debut album I did on Rap Alot was titled "Your Entertainment, My Reality." And and that's how that happened.
Just was about to get to that album, but before I want to just be clear. So you come to Rap Alot and you're an artist, but you have all of this experience at this time. What year was this?
When we signed the Rap Alot, when we first started negotiations, it was like 94, mid 94, end of 94.
So you're
And
about 18, 19 years old.
I'm like 20. Yeah, 19,
Okay.
20. Mm-hmm.
19, 20 years old. And you've already created your buzz. You got a couple different deals on the table. You end up going with Jay Prince. Now that you're with Jay Prince, you're as an artist, but you're starting to bring these other artists to Rap Alot. Is that as an executive? Was there any kind of deals where you got royalty points?
Oh yeah. I got finder's fee and royalties and all that for every artist I brought to the table. We were starting Rap Alot West legitimately.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He wanted to do that. He signed us with that in mind.
Right.
And we were pushing that Rap Alot West. I was supposed to be the first artist to come out, but it ended up being CJ album because I'm featured on his first single. Because we was trying to push the movement, Rap Alot West. The homies end up, it was so big. The homies had offices and jobs and positions. It was more than just me signing to a label. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People had executive positions in office that, in the building. We was in Virgin Records, man. You feel me?
Yeah.
And functioning. The Houston family and the LA family will be functioning as a unit, smooth business. And it got things done,
So you say Your Entertainment, My Reality comes out and it's Rap Alot West, but it's also New Tribe. Tell me the influence and the part that New Tribe had to do with you as an artist and with the business going on you had with Rap Alot.
Well, when we signed the Rap Alot, they didn't have the distribution deal with New Tribe, Virgin. New Tribe is really just Virgin Records. It was their hip hop department or division, I would say, right?
Right.
That was ran by Eric Brooks and Mike Mack. Rest in peace to Mike Mack. Just passed away last week, man. Executive at Rap Alot, and he was, I think, the VP at New Tribe. Eric Brooks was the general manager. Okay, so when we signed the Rap Alot, they wasn't with New Tribe. They was in between. They had just left Priority. He had just entered his distribution deal with Brian Turner at Priority. So he was in between, but he had us working out there, me and CJ Mack. When we finished our albums, actually right before we finished our album, he had Leor, one day we in the studio, right? And Jay pulled up and he had just got the new CL600. and they pull up. We see this tall white man get out the car, right? So me and CJ knew that Lior. We knew that was Lior. We like, that's the motherfucker that run Def Jam. What this about? So Jay just come to the door and tell Mike Dean, shout out to Mike Dean, Mike, you got CJ and Poppa LQ album? You know what you like? It ain't finished. No, just what you got. Put what you got on CD now. So we like, dang, okay, what's going on? So I guess Lior outside on the phone or whatever. Jay said, that's Lior. I'm about to play him my album. Man, when he got them CDs, he made Lior listen to me and CJ whole album while we sat in the back of the CL. Me and CJ playing the whole album for Lior. So Lior's like, I need these albums. Me and CJ like, yeah, you need these albums, right? But he didn't do the deal with Def Jam. He ended up going with Virgin. I guess, more Chalupa. So at the time when we signed the Rap Alot, we signed the Rap Alot. So whatever he decides for distribution is up to him. He mans that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we have to follow suit. So, we were finishing the album and he decided to go with Virgin. So then we met the staff at Virgin. And Eric Brooks and Mike Mack, they geniuses, bro. You see what they did with the Loonies? You know what I'm saying? Right. That's their work. You know what I'm saying? And that was a marriage of a blessing in disguise, because that's how I met Yuck. I had already knew Yuck wife. Rest in peace to my homegirl Trina. So we was always in communication, like telephonically through her and all that stuff. And then when they signed to C-Note, when C-Note signed a new tribe like Rap Alot did, we all ended up going on promo tour together. And that's how the regime was formed. You know what I'm saying? That's when we first started doing that. Yeah.
Okay, so now the regime. What is the regime? Who is the regime? When was it? Obviously, it started because of your relationship with Yukmouth. How did that start coming together? And then what was the first project that y'all put out together?
Well, the regime was formed of us vibing in the studio, just really being rappers, lyricists, you know what I'm saying? Like, Yuck Vicious, you know what I'm saying? So we all had to go on promo tour, and you already know California's California. Everybody know when we out of town, Crips, Blood, Damus, Norteño, Sereno, whatever it is, we California, right? So when we on tour, we California. They from the Bay, me and CJ, you know what I'm saying? So we automatically be looking out for each other, right? So immediately, me and Yuck all on some vibe, playing instrumentals, doing stuff. And he was like, we respected each other's craft. That's where it really came from. Now, to finish answering that question, the regime is Yukmouth, Gonzo, Poppa LQ, Tech Nine, Pretty Black, rest in peace, E Black, Don Strike, the Gov, rest in peace, the Govmatic. Make sure I ain't missing nobody. Stone, my other partner, Stone, rest in peace. Jay Stone, rest in peace.
You forgetting one more person for sure.
Who? I'm forgetting probably a couple of more people.
Fast
Bossolini. Come on, Fast Bossolini at the top of the list, and Mad Max, they're at the top of the list. Them original what we call First Brigade members right there. Fast Bossolini and Mad Max. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's it. That's the original squad right there. You know what I'm saying? And it was a conglomerate. We was like on some Wu-Tang, West Coast Wu-Tang, but we had people from back east in regime. So I'm not gonna just say it was West Coast. It was some Wu-Tang shit. And it was independent, and we was gonna go independent. That's what we did do, go independent with all those regime, all our war mixtape volumes and whatnot. And that was Yuck game sharing that independent game. See, the mindset of artists in the Bay Area and LA was different. Now it's more like the same, because a lot of people are into the DIY, do it yourself, independent method. But back then, the mentality of a Bay Area artist and the LA artist was different. Most LA artists, not all, only did enough songs to shop a deal. But Bay Area artists did songs to put out themselves, to sell it out the trunk. So they kind of worked to finish. LA artists, we really didn't work to finish. We want 3 or 4 bangers, 5 or 6 bangers, and we trying to go get a deal, nigga. Trying to go get a check.
You 100% right. And salute to the brother who did start for me, E40 out the trunk. E40 was one of those dudes who I looked up to as far as an inspiration as being different. And you mentioned in the Bay, he's most definitely one of those very diverse vocabulary, open, creating to give me that understanding. But yeah, salute to the Bay and salute to you for connecting with them brothers.
Man, salute to you for because that's what E40. That's my relationship with him. Actually, E40 gave me the name Kenny Kingpin. That name came from a domino game.
What do you say?
You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
Kenny Kingpin.
Yeah, he had his cousin Tommy Tussle. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He was Charlie Hustle. And then I was Kenny Kingpin, you know, and I just thought it was like, that's dope. You know, I ran with it. You know what I'm saying? That's where that alias came from, his linguistics, his great thinking. You know what I'm saying? But he also like
salute.
Maximized my independent hustle. He showed me in real time that it can be done in the grit. Like when he used to be working on them albums, he used to come over Bosko house and sleep on a sleeping bag on the floor with $1 million house stand next to Gary Payton. He would come down.
Incredible grind.
And listen, when I seen that and he would do it repetitiously, it made me look at everything different. I'm telling you. Because I know for sure we just left his house next to Gary Payton up north, and he come over Bosco house sleeping on the couch with his sleeping bag, wake up in the morning, man, pouring up, writing, getting down. Handle his business, get in their van in the Sprinter and leave.
You talking about E40, right?
Yes, like that.
Man, that's
Boot camp style, baby.
man,
Listen,
he really that
all the
dude is really
time.
a hustler.
Not just 1 year, yeah, all the time. So that work ethic right there, it checked me. I ain't gonna lie, that was my reality check. When I seen it, I said, I know he's a millionaire. Look how he carrying it.
Right. How I'm gonna let him, if I'm trying to get where he at, how I'm gonna let him out hustle me, outwork
Exactly.
me.
Exactly.
He's sleeping on the what you call it bed. But so right around this time, the regime cracking, you formulate another group with did we lose Poppa LQ? Quan. Yeah, I think we lost Quan, and we finna get into the last couple what you call it. He'll be back in real quick. Hey man, everybody hit that like button on your way in. Welcome to Damu Kiwe Conversation. We are the voice of the culture, and we are the voice of that West Sider Riders. You know what I'm saying? This is some dope history from a hip hop pioneer. We done went all the way back to now it's the B turn. From there, we went back to Tupac being on tour with Digital Underground, first beating Kenny Kingpin. Then we go further to the next level, to him being in negotiations with a deal with Riots and Jay Prince, and choosing to roll with Jay Prince. And I think it was on advice by Big U, you know what I'm saying, who he had forced to be his manager, because Big U wasn't even in entertainment or business, right? But you need a bulldog, you know what I'm saying, because it's a real shady industry, and he was a kid, right? So next, he gets to Rap Alot, and him and CJ come with a slapper, a low ride anthem. Matter of fact, while we waiting on him, I'm finna see if we could get that playing. So they come with this low riding anthem, and come and take a ride with me, and release that on Rap Alot West. Then he starts bringing artists to Rap Alot, other West Coast artists, and artists period, where he's an executive at 19 years old, getting points off of albums because he's putting pieces of the puzzle together to help formulate and expand the legendary Rap Alot Records, which was a predominantly Southern market, right? Oh, we was just bringing them up while you had those technical difficulties. So it's good though, because it allowed me to bring everybody up to date to all that we already covered. So you got your buzz up, you with the regime, and you form another group. And what made you form this new group, DBA, right? With Bosko and CoolNuts. Shout out to CoolNuts.
Well, actually, I was already, Bosko produced more than a few songs on my debut on Rap Alot You Entertainment, My Reality. I was already working with Bosko. Bosko was from Portland, Oregon, playing basketball for USC with his computer and production equipment in his dorm room when I met him through AMG, right? And so when I met him, he, you know what I'm saying? Of course, he knew about the LaQuan announced the beat turning up. He played some beats. The beats was banging. So him and I forged a relationship right then and there. Then I ended up getting a deal with Rap Alot, and I kept working with him. I kept working with all the producers that I was working with before I got to deal with Rap Alot to make sure they got money in their pocket. You know what I'm saying? So that way they'll know that it's worthwhile working with me, right?
Right.
So that's what, you know what I'm saying, that's what I was strong. I knew to make sure to do that because I knew from the jump that regardless of what label I'm on, I'm gonna need my production team with me. So I had to make sure my guys eat when I eat, you know what I'm saying, rule number one.
Right.
And so what happened was after the first album, I already went in. I didn't wait for Jay to clear me a budget for my second album. I had a relationship with Rhythm D, Battle Cat, Bosko, AMG, and all these different producers. So I went in the studio and did an album
Slick.
and had everybody do the beats on spec and did an itemization and set up a budget and turned it in to Rap Alot with the album, the second album, before I got the budget, which was a game changer because at that time they never experienced that before. They never had a artist turn in an album without the budget yet. So I told them, hey, you know, this, and then at the time I think they was leaving Virgin again, looking for distribution again. He wasn't ready to clear any budgets. And I, you know what I'm saying, I wanted to keep build on the buzz and the momentum that I already had with the album, the first album. I wanted to do a fast turnaround. It didn't hit like I wanted to. It wanted to, and we, you know what I'm saying, it was more work to do. So I was trying to like, hey, I need to have some more material out. The album's done, the stuff was potent. I had all these features on there from 40, Dub C, Corrupt, and he didn't want to clear the budget. So what I did was me and Bosko got together and made that the DBA album with CoolNuts. And we put out a single, the Shiesty Casting single you played with E40 and Corrupt on it. All I Know, excuse me. And it was another single, Shiesty Cat with Corrupt and Dub C on it. We put that out and Felly
The
Fell.
single. And
Exactly.
the Beehive, let me let y'all know this, right? Real quick, Quan. The Beehive was the most notorious blood club I've ever been to in Los Angeles in my life. I mean, in the history of my 30-something years history, this was a worldwide, citywide known blood hangout every week. When we was in there, they were playing the DBA single, Y'all Gonna Walk to This. Everybody walk to this. Down south gonna bounce, Crips gonna walk to it. Y'all gonna walk to this with the Jay-Z sample.
Yeah.
What was that? Walk to This? Wasn't that the first single?
What the actual song we did first was Shiesty Cats with Corrupt and Dub. That's what got us the deal. Dino DeValier, he actually was working at Universal. In fact, he signed Cash Money, the whole label. Dino DeValier, that's his claim to fame over there, which was obviously enough, right? And then he signed us. Huh?
He signed Cash Money to 30 million, right?
Yeah, he did. That's Dino DeValier. He did that deal. He was their A&R. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, he had got wind of the record because Felly Fell jumped on the record on Power, started spinning the record. Then KML, the sister station up north, started spinning the record. So the spins is going up. Dino reached out to my lawyer, me and Bosko lawyer, and put the deal together. You feel me saying? Because we was getting the play, getting the radio play. The song was catching. We serviced it. It started catching. We following up, doing the drops, doing what we supposed to do. And there you go there, you know?
Well, okay, so now you got that going, and then the world crashes in on you, right? You end up in a cell, and then you can take off from there. You end up in a cell.
Well, yeah. Okay, so we independent.
Wait, I want to set the scene for this.
Y'all can set it up.
You end up in a cell with a young gang banging blood nigga in federal prison, Metropolitan Detention Center, LA. And you told him you rapped and all that, but he's looking at a magazine article that says that you got a $1.7 million deal with Universal Music Group. How did your life go from creating music with Bosko getting this deal with Universal and substantiating that to that. And I'll let you take
the truth of the matter is, like I said, as we talked earlier, I got my first deal at 15. I come from a black dysfunctional family in the urban city like everybody else. So I had crime was at one point in time as a very young age for me too, seen as a way out. And I had older siblings who were into criminality.
Right.
So, so I picked up a lot at a young age, of course, being the youngest of 6 siblings and having siblings that were on drugs and into criminality. So I'm just saying that by the time I got my deal at 15, my cousin Andre and them on 10th Avenue, my Princess, his sister, them family, I ain't already broken to 3 or 4 houses by the time I got a deal at 15. Facts. So, that's no secret. I'd already broken houses. So obviously I didn't read all that going through the ups and downs in the business. And when after, leaving Rap Alot, I'm, independent now. Things were falling in my lap, opportunities. Illicit opportunities, I should say. And I took part of them. Came across, dude told on me, not just me, told on a lot of people. And I ended up there in MDC, Metropolitan Detention Center with you. In the feds. I ended up in the feds. The dude ratted on me. You know what I'm saying? He ratted on a lot of people. We ain't gonna give his name no highlight, but we said it, boy. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will say, yeah, he probably told on them too. Told on his own grandmama. Anyway, I'm in there right
really
when we
told on
just
his grandmama.
No, literally, he really told on his grandma. You know that too. And they went and got her. She was like probably 70 at the time. They went and got her. You know what I'm saying? And people don't play like they come to get you. So we in the MDC bidding, jailing, and right when I got picked up, they had just started the media campaign on our DBA project with Universal. So we got ads in all the magazines, Murder Dog, Rap Pages, Source Magazine. You know what I'm saying? We already got the checks and deposited the checks and started buying cars and stuff. Things is good. I'm hustling too. So it's really feeling real good. And then next thing you know, they kick in my door in Palmdale and grab me. I'm on an indictment with like 30 people. You feel me? And then, so when I get in there, we jailing. The magazines, I'm seeing the magazines floating. I don't even want to look at that shit, nigga. I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out how I came on the ass end of this case they've been having in Venice that I don't have nothing to do with, right? So my mind on that. So, I think M, now that I know M more 20 something years later, M was plotting. I ended up in the cell with him. We was cool, vibing and shit. He had his crew in there and shit. I see him in there chilling, chilling. So we talking about music and craftsmanship and stuff. Cause he know what he talking about. Then I realized it's Eminem. See, he wasn't Deuce M's then. Then I realized it's him. And I'm like, oh, this is a dude from Fruit Town. They used to tell me to look out for him if I go to the movies over there.
Right.
So I already know what time it is. He was pushing the beat. So cool, but the cool, solid nigga. I'm watching, we paying attention, seeing how each other carry, doing what y'all do. So we end up in the cell. He reading the magazine one day. We come in on the lock. He just vibing me out, being Deuce M's, try to see if I'm gonna say something. So he gonna say, man, so I know you rap, but you didn't tell me you got a 1 point something million dollar deal. He said, why would you not mention that? Same way he do now. He had the same method of questioning that he has now. Right? So I was like, nigga, it don't matter now. So he's like, man, what was you doing hustling and shit? But he knew who case I was on. So he already kind of knew I was doomed. And but it was positive. He was like, what's going forward? And he just immediately started asking business questions. He was like, damn, they gave you $1 million? I was like, nah, that's what the whole deal is worth. He was dissecting it. Because Deuce had his mind on it too. And I had to tell, I said, no, that's the whole deal was for $1 million. They're going to promote and it's recording, you know what I'm saying? So that was a deal, you know what I'm saying? They just summed it up like that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, shit, that's still, if y'all had access to $1 million still, I said, yeah, we got the money. He was like, damn, you know.
Right.
So there you
right.
go there.
But it was just messed up. And I remember you explaining that in the middle of all of that, you had to dibble and dabble because you had this persona to keep up with, right?
Yeah,
Bills had
but
to
I
be
was
paid.
foolish too. I was being greedy. I was stupid for doing that. I'm thinking about I'm gonna take this, to this 300,000 and want to do my 1-2 with it because what I'm saying I had access to that, man. I was indoctrinated. I was lied to. I was misled like most of us out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have enough people showing me the right way to do and what the right things to do with the money. That's where financial literacy come in at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to be slick. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. I got hit in here. I got told on. I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? But look what we have now though. I met you. We stayed in contact. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? You stayed on your craft. And then we eventually had to meet back up and come up with some things and keep it pushing. See how that worked? And that's what staying solid can do.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what staying solid to do. But see, just while we on this, I tell people all the time, they don't know that man been reading paperwork for a long time. That man been politicking for a long time. I've been in jail with him. They don't know I've been in the cell. I know how he get down. I know how he get down. And he ain't turning down nothing. You know
Hey
what I'm
man,
saying?
listen, man. Well, if I'm wrong and it's a friend and I wrong them, I'll turn something down. Oh, I'll offer to give it to him because I
No, you
know I was
fair.
wrong.
No,
Yeah.
you listen, this is why I fucks with you. You fair, Deuce. You know what I'm saying? I seen you do some heavy politicking in there. You already know it get real in there, man. And you fair. You gonna give a cat a chance, you know what I'm saying? But you stern too. Your balance and fairness and sternness is impeccable. I salute you for that. You
Hey
know what
man,
I'm saying? I
appreciate
observed
it.
that from you and picked up a lot from that. Because you stern, but you fair though. So I can't do nothing. I salute you for that. You know what I'm saying?
I would like to believe so, but thank you for telling me that because that's what I aspire to be. So now, what are we working on today? Poppa LQ Kenny Kingpin. What new music you got going on? What business ventures are you invested your time into? It's 2025. What can we talk to these people about? Because everything can't be talked about, and it's all legal. I'm not saying we
Yeah.
can't talk about it because it's not
Well, yeah,
legal.
yeah. Some things are still in fruition. We still in the infant stages. Some things are on the table now. Like one of them is the Damu and Kiwe conversation, branching out and expanding our multimedia level and marketing. Your curriculum. We got documentaries on the way. Right now, I got 2 singles, Always Up and Last Laugh, which we got the visuals coming to. We preparing for Yael single right now and his visuals. We got TD and Critter album out right now, programming. And we moving all that content and intellectual property and all that around as we expand this platform. So we, of course, while we here, we got the Press 5 first episode coming, and then we're gonna follow that up with some other episodes and some other individuals coming up. I have another podcast called The Bigger Picture that we going so we just expanding. We have the unique website. We have the You Find It app. Our hands are full.
They,
we
they,
busy,
they,
baby.
yeah, hey, I don't know how we get content almost 5-6 times a week with all that we do. So the uniquemusic.com app, y'all make sure that y'all go register over there so that you'll be out over there. Also, the You Find It app. I did get the call from Big U. These is Big U's apps, right? So when you talk about watch your mouth, homie. Hold on, we got something for you real quick. Let's set you down real quick. But troll. But this is my life on Clubhouse. The dude Jack, whatever his name is. But when you talk about that relationship with Big U and Poppa LQ, since Poppa LQ was a teenager, they're like family members. But besides that, they're both Muslims, right? And they understand each other and what each other bring to the table. So when you talk about the You Find It app, we just got the call from I called Big U last night and he told me that that they called him about the app. So now both of the apps are able to communicate with each other, which is essential for the final pause because they'll be merged and be able to communicate with each other. So you got both of those distribution for independent artists, just as if you could get from DistroKid, just as if you could get from CD Baby or one of these other platforms. Difference is this one is owned by somebody that looks like you, and it's for free. They're not going to take any of your royalties, right? Royalty free. We got games on there that you can play. You got rooms just like Clubhouse that you'll be able to open up with unlimited amount of people while you're running some kind of content, like say this interview, right? Unlimited amount of people in it, just like Clubhouse. But the difference is we'll be able to FaceTime, so you're not seeing bots, you're not seeing trolls like the one we just saw on there. You're going to be able to see people where they're at and all of these type of things. You'll be able to control, the moderators will be able to control and mute everybody up who doesn't have permission to be speaking at that time. So the Unique Music app, uniquemusic.com, make sure y'all go register on that. The You Find It app is a whole lot different. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about killing monsters all over the world, and there's prizes, and it's essentially kind of similar to what they did with the Pokemon Go, right? Different spots you meet, play the game, you could get different Pokemon, which will help raise up your points and your score or whatever in the game. But it goes even deeper than just that, because what we're doing right now is media. We're establishing a Black-owned multimedia company. This is the most minute part about it. Obviously, you got to have that voice, right? And you have to let the people know what's going on, and this is the platform for that. But the Unique Music app, the You Find It app, is going to offer all kind of different services. Y'all be looking for that. But KennyKingpin is the go man when you want to deal with color raps or United Color Raps. We need to find some corporate sponsors. Oh, KennyKingpin. Oh, okay. Well, we gonna see what we can do with the color raps. Oh, okay. We get you the interview with them. They put me on the phone. Give me half a ear. I'm gonna take the other ear and a half because the conversation gonna be that good. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about business. And so as a team from the business standpoint, me and him, that's where we've been meshing, Big U. So while people talking about Big U don't fuck with Deuce Sims no more than Damu.
They don't know about the morning conversations, boy.
Hey man, listen.
I
As
tell you, the
long as they
morning
keep
conversations
talking,
is the real content.
and you know what they said. Hey, we can't go answer to these dudes and prove that to them. We need them to keep talking about us, so when these apps drop, we got free promotion. You know what I'm saying? Laugh our way to the bank. Why they worried about
we
what
definitely working. We definitely multitasking over here. You know, I say we doing multi-level media and multi-level media and marketing, and you know,
Oh, and
content
the
is king.
films. Don't forget not just the documentaries. We got some films coming and all kind of other stuff.
Oh,
But
we definitely got some films coming. Films are in the can. And like I said, we gonna, the hip hop uncovered was just the tip of the iceberg, and then we learned something from that, and we got some more stuff coming. It don't stop because we definitely don't have enough. You know.
After all this time, you have held strong to a vision, and not nobody on Clubhouse has put in place what you have done and what you and Yael are doing. Y'all the only ones that use Clubhouse and made Clubhouse work for y'all. Hey, and I respect that from y'all.
Hey man, appreciate that, guy.
Salute.
Hey, but look, Pop LQ, you come off as so intelligent, wise, seasoned, and experienced when it comes to the business of music, right? And it's a lot of people get it mixed up because they can see you as this versatile artist. He did it's the B turn, right? The poppy dance, New Jack Swing flavor song. Then he did Come and Take a Ride, a lowrider gangster rap anthem, right? Then he's a lyricist, one of the founding members with the regime, respected. Platinum artists, Thugged Out, Thug Lord, all of these features on all of these projects, right? Versatile artists. But what I don't think they understand is that 19, 20-year-old kid that was able to put himself in position to negotiate a deal for him as himself as an artist, but to also be able to recruit and bring new artists and producers and engineers into the fold in the situation that he got as an executive. 19, 20 years old, right?
Yeah.
But we definitely wanted to take this opportunity to salute you, give you your flowers as a pioneer in hip hop. Forget the West Coast, because it wasn't just limited to the West Coast. You from the Bay Area all the way down is what you was on from the beginning. From there to the Southwest, to Texas and Rap Alot Records, right? Just to the Midwest, coming from St. Louis, right? Messing with Tech Nina and all of these dudes is part of the regime. Listen, bro, so many times we never are able to give flowers to those that deserve it. Those pioneers, right? Those innovators, right? Those trendsetters. Well, today we want to, on behalf of the whole Damu Kiwe Conversation team, Duke Sims, Yael, Scandalous Los Angeles TV, Smoked Out, G-Mac, Bomani, my pops, John Jr., we want the world to know we recognize and salute you being able to overcome those situations of a broken home. The situations that you had to have the fortitude, perseverance to weather losses with your brothers and your family members and still be where you is today, positioned to end 2025 as a multi-millionaire, bro. Salute to you, your strength, and I'll let Yael do it. We was giving him his flowers, y'all. I hope you was
Salute to the whole Damu Kiwe family, man.
Damu Kiwe Conversations.
It's an honor and a pleasure to be a part of the squad, man. Honestly, salute to Scandalous Los Angeles. Salute to ODM Slim. Salute to the whole squad. Salute to Henny, Miss Henny, Diamond Blue, man. The whole squad, man. We get busy, man. For real,
Hey,
for real.
man, listen. Kenny Kingpin, a.k.a. Poppa LQ. It's in the building, y'all. If y'all don't know, you know now. Make sure you subscribe to Kenny Kingpin YouTube channel, and make sure you subscribe to Active Chucks and the Damu Kiwe Conversation podcast. Kenny Kingpin, it's a blessing, brother. And just you being a guru, just a historian in the industry and having all of this knowledge and everything. I can't wait to hear the new album. Both of the records that's out right now, Always Up and Ain't No Telling the Streets. I love that is a personal favorite because
I already know your stance.
we love politicking
take a
on
hard
that
stance.
on
Yeah, I
these
know your
rats.
hard stance.
Yeah, my heart was dancing. I was like, the streets ain't telling, it ain't no telling who out here. You know what I'm saying? So getting to that, man, feeling that vibe, that's what, that's part of the base structure of the Damu Kiwe Conversation with, educating the brothers, man. Don't tell on another if you out here doing crime. keep your mouth closed and go do your time. You know what I'm saying? But salute to you, brother, for stopping in with us, man,
Appreciate it.
and
Appreciate it.
giving us this real depth, all this history that you shared with us with the Tupac and the Six Souls and Monster Cody, knowing that you wasn't shook. You know what I'm saying? We was too. Hey, listen, I heard it in your delivery, man. You was like, because hey, we was in there with some real ones. We had
Yeah,
East
I didn't have
Coasters.
Joe. Hey, he the one left early. We didn't. He didn't get a chance to see my performance.
Right. So, being that you've been around all these artists in the industry, and you got a long history, a long timeline. Give us I gotta know this. Who was probably one of the favorite artists that you've worked with and why?
Wow, man. It's a lot, but you know who I really like working with? Me and CJ Mack, man, we work cold, man, like a cold writer squad. You know what I'm saying? Yuck
Wow.
pushes the envelope a lot. Yuck pushes the envelope a lot. See, I'm rare with the collaborations. I've collaborated, but Yuck and Tech Nine, because they put
Okay.
that pressure on me. You feel
Tech
me?
Nine is different. He's very different. I know he's out the
Yeah.
Midwest, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, out the Midwest. Yeah. So that's what's up.
42, working with 40 is fun.
Oh yeah, man. The 40s, man. I just got it. He's the guy for me, man. He's the guy. He
Yeah.
40.
How
Guy.
40 be? How 40 be, Yael?
He'd be like, ooh, somebody else's work in the VIP with my arm up the skirt. Hey, that dude is so creative, bro. And like I said, him being just so different in the vocabulary, him coming up with that vocabulary.
You can't just give us a little. We needed one more.
Nah, bro, this ain't about 40. This about the homie, Kenny
Now
Kingpin.
40 a beast. I was just telling you,
Bro, he's a
he a
beast.
beast, man.
I had the pleasure of meeting that brother twice, man. At Sharks in Orange County, he had a performance, and then there was another time at some bar, man. He had another performance, man. He had came out here, and it was just a dope vibe, man. Salute to that brother, man.
Oh yeah. Well, damn, Steffi Weffy. Every time she pop up.
Hey,
Yeah,
y'all got it.
Hey, she had us all at the screen, didn't she?
Woo! Ooh wee!
She did that one.
Oh yeah, that was on. In front of you, be like, "Ooh, that would be on purpose." Oh, he say some slick shit like that. Steffi Weffy.
I said, Mama popped up on it, putting it out there, sticking. Had that poker poking.
Everybody voice. You ain't lying. Great live. Thank you.
I'm gonna call you
thank
back.
You,
Salute.
It's the story of Kenny. It's the story of Poppa LQ Kenny Kingpin, and this is the energy I'm blessed to have in my life, and continue to build me through up and down, man. My brother from another.
Salute.
She said, "Let me make it. I am a 6-footer." Okay.
Okay.
Real quick, dudes. I gotta share this. I appreciate Kenny Kingpin for coming up with that segment, Press 5. That is going to change a lot of lives, man, especially the brothers that are innocent. Salute to Deuce for creating the platform of Damu Kiwe Conversation and allowing all of us to come together. All due praises to the Most High, Allah, all of it together. We appreciate that, man, because we're brothers at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
Despite of the differences.
Well, the Press 5 is a once a week. It's an extension of the Damu Kiwe Conversations, but it's hosted by Poppa LQ Kenny Kingpin, right? Well, once a week, we allow. We understand that the government really wanted to cut the head off of and so the body will fall, essentially cutting that masculinity, that structure of the black male away from the family and the children, right? So these brothers that are strength, that have been caught up and are behind the wall with that energy, we gonna be able to continue to bring it through Kenny Kingpin's hosting and interviewing, talking with these brothers on what they can do positively or what they feel these children need to hear moving forward. So all the women, tell all your girlfriends, hey, tell them we some fly brothers up in here too. But tell all your girlfriends,
Reminisce.
the
You know him.
Rizzler, man, the Rizzler. But tell all your girlfriends, your sisters, your aunties, single moms that if they got boys that's having problems and they're having problems understanding them, that this is the reason why we bring in Press 5. We got brothers that's behind the wall to set as examples. So hopefully these kids don't have to run their head into the wall to learn. Because sometimes they never get a second chance. You know what I'm saying? So, here they go. Let me see, because here go the Henny girls. And they need to change their name to the Rizzlers. So now we the Rizzlers.
Oh my gosh, not the Rizzlers. Not the
all the way live. Exactly, Yael. Facts. Oh, here they go. Selena Gray Show. All right. Got more Rizzle than anyone I know. There they go, man. Hey, man, the Mackin is cracking, man.
Let me go.
Hey, but now, look, it's already over 2 hours, man. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Remember, spread the word. Press 5. I put it in there at Kenny Kingpin on YouTube, at Poppa LQ on YouTube. Go subscribe. He only needs 100 and something more subscriptions to be monetized. Go support Kenny Kingpin. Go support Poppa LQ, one of the pioneers of hip hop.
Appreciate everybody turning in. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Stay tuned in. We're going to bring a lot of content. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good dialogue. Appreciate the support to the fullest.